speaker, minister, Black mental health matters advocate, and God's voice for the millennial generation. I am Jasmine Lynn Pope, and I am turning my wildest dreams into the greatest reality. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Purpose Talk. It is Saturday, 6 p.m., and I am so honored and glad to be back here with you on today. These last few months have just been so amazing. I look forward to recording these shows and then being able to sit with you, whether you're watching it on Facebook or YouTube on Saturday at 6 o'clock. And for even those who I cannot communicate with, who are watching it on Buckeye Channel 69, but are able to tune in, I am just so honored that you chose this time to lock in with me to have some intimate conversation as it relates to our purpose, our destiny, and the call of God that is on our lives. For those of you who don't know, I like to just give a brief introduction of myself every time because I don't want to assume that you know who I am. So my name is Jasmine Lynn Pope. I'm a girl who was born and raised in Sandusky, Ohio, came to Toledo when I started at the University of Toledo in 2007, and have been here just growing spiritually, mentally, emotionally, so that I can walk fully in my purpose and be able to share my journey and my experiences with you all to help you as you navigate your process to purpose. I am the CEO of Jasmine Lynn Enterprises, which encompasses my personal brand and all of my products, those that are coming and those that are already out. My first brand, Blessings in Disguise Counseling and Coaching, where we are now a team of 2 and working to become bigger, and we'll get into that in just a minute. And then I'm also the host of the Pretty Powerful Purposeful Conference, which is a conference dedicated to helping men and women elevate in their purpose by giving you the skills and the tools that you need to take your purpose to the next level. So if you have not gotten the message, Jasmine is all about purpose. Yes, I'm all about purpose, making sure that we are walking in our purpose, that we know that we have a purpose, and believing in the God who gives us our purpose. And so that's what we're here to talk about today, right? So I want to go ahead and just kind of jump into the first segment of the show. And so this is just kind of a beginning motivational, inspirational type of thing, and then we're going to tie it into the second part of the show. But earlier this year, one of the things that God had spoken to me was to be very intentional about my prayers. And so he had me sit down one night and really write out in my journal where I wanted to see myself by the end of this year, where I wanted to see myself a year from now, maybe even 2 years from now or so. And so as I was writing that, he just told me to write out whatever it was, no matter how big or small it was, everything that I needed. He told me to write that down. And so I did. I began to write. And so part of that was, building the team for Blessings in Disguise, because as a person, I've been doing for almost 3 years, I have been doing literally everything, right? So I'm not only scheduling clients, but I'm seeing clients, I'm verifying their insurances, I'm doing the paperwork, making sure the finances are okay, and all these other things. And so it was beginning to be a lot with how the practice was growing. And so I asked God to help me, build a team of people who are in line with the vision of, Blessings in Disguise and, ultimately Jasmine Lynn Enterprises and where things are going. And so he began putting people in place to, help me to be able to move the vision forward. And so, all of these, just all of these different things. And so, I've been able to see him answer a lot of those things already before 2020 has even come to an end. But as I was sitting the other day and just kind of reminiscing and thinking and just being in a place of gratitude, God told me to believe bigger. And I'm like, whoa, what does that mean? And so essentially he gave me something to be able to share with you all. And it's that sometimes we get so small-minded in our thinking because of fear, because of the circumstances that are around us, because of just doubt and worry and all of these different things. And he just was basically saying, you got to stop doubting me. Like, I am the God who we always talk about does exceedingly and abundantly above all that we can ask or think. But you won't even ask me for it because you are more confident in yourself, or you're more confident in the finances that grants and the government and whoever else can give you, rather than seeing me as who I am. I'm truly your provider. I'm truly the one who opens the doors and closes the doors. I'm the one who grants you the opportunities. I'm the one who gives you the expansion and the elevation and all of these different things. So stop limiting me. Stop limiting what you think that I can do, because I know what I can do. God knows what he can do, and he can do everything, right? But we limit him with our thinking. We limit him with our words. You know, we oftentimes will say, you know, I want to do this. I want to own a boutique that, you know, will serve clients or, you know, people all over the world with my fashion, right? That might be somebody's dream. And then we follow up with, but I don't know if God will really do that. Why wouldn't he? Why can't he? Only thing that's stopping you is you, because you opened your mouth and spoke that maybe he couldn't do it, right? So we have to be careful of what we're saying, even in this process of believing bigger. Our words create atmospheres. Our words shift atmospheres. Our words build up or tear down things. And so we have to be cognizant of those things that we say. When you are believing bigger, your thoughts have to match the words that come out of your mouth. So that means I can't think negatively. I can't think small. I've really got to change my mindset to really believe that God is going to grant me bigger. I'm in the beginning of reading this book. It's my second time kind of going through it, but it's called Believe Bigger by Marshawn Evans Daniels. And so it's really talking about that and mapping out that process of your purpose in order to get to the bigger, right? And so a lot of times we don't take that time out to really just sit down and write the vision and make it plain, but also give it back to God to say, okay, God, this is what I think I'm hearing. This is what I think I'm seeing. This is what I'm thinking that you're saying. But I need you to clarify this for me, because I know that if I step into this and I do this my way, I may not do it how you want me to do it. I may not do it how you're showing me to do it. I may not do it in the way that it needs to be done, and I could cause more issues or confusion or whatever to the plan and the destiny that you have on my life. So God, I'm giving this back to you. And I'm saying you have your way. You show me what you need me to do, right? And so many times we get caught up in ourselves and thinking that we know how to do it because, you know, we've read the book. And I'm not saying, you know, not to read the book. It gives us the inspiration. It gives us the motivation. But ultimately, we've got to go back to the Father to get the understanding of what he meant, right? So yes, you know, we need to read the books. We need to take the trainings. We need to do, you know, all the things to educate us, right? But we still always need to go back to God to say, am I walking the steps that you need me to walk? Am I talking the talk that you need me to talk? Am I living how you need me to live? Because that's the next piece. You can't live, or you shouldn't want this life of abundance, but you're not living in an abundance mindset. That doesn't mean that we have everything that we need right in this moment, right? That's not saying that we have all of the money in the world to be able to go ahead and go forth and do what we want to do. But I can't live in a mentality that keeps me in a poor mindset if I'm saying I want to be rich. Right? You know, we talk about, you know, my Father is rich in houses and lands and all of that. So yes, if God has all those things, you can have it too. But if you don't have the right mindset to be able to handle those things, what good is it going to do? I'm in a place of, I realize I love Rocket Nutrition. That's my commission, and all that's like family. And they would see me 5 days out of the week, more than likely, right? And that's good because I was able to make it through my days. I had my energy, blah, blah, blah. But when I looked at my bank account and the amount of money that I was spending on these amazing teas, so shout out to them, go get one, you'll love it, right? But when I looked at my bank account, I realized, you know, the amount of money that I was spending, I could be saving. I could be putting it towards something else. You know what I mean? And so I love supporting Black businesses and, you know, ones that are healthy and beneficial to us. But I had to make a choice that if I want to see God do some greater things in my life and in my purpose, I've got to be a better steward over my finances. So that doesn't mean that I'm completely eliminating them out of my life in totality, right? We can always have a moment where we splurge on ourselves or engage in something good. I've just got to be more cognizant about how I'm spending my money and what I'm spending it on. I don't necessarily need a tea every day, right? I can figure out other ways to be able to give myself energy. I like that. I like the teas. I like supporting them, but God is calling me to a different place in my life. And so in order to be obedient to him, I've had to cut some things out. It's not only just the teas. There's, shopping or going and getting fast food or, going to buy, just frivolous things that we don't need. When we are believing bigger, we've got to do things that will allow us to get to that bigger place, right? And so sometimes that's sowing that small seed. That's taking, that, and I told myself when in this process of thinking, okay, I'm not gonna go to Rocket for a while. I'm just gonna chill out, whatever. So my challenge to myself is, if you end up going to Rocket and you get a tea or you get a shake or whatever you get, whatever amount of money that you spend, you have to then put that into your savings account. So, the challenge is, if you're gonna go and get them still, then that just means you got to put that to the side. So it's a challenge all the way around, right? Because even still on my day-to-day basis, I can't just say, okay, well, I'm not spending the money at Rocket, so I'm gonna go to McDonald's and get a meal. That defeats the purpose. I'm training myself to not just want to be on the go doing all of that, because I'm changing my mindset, because I know where I want to go. I know what I want to see. I know what God is showing me and telling me as far as it relates to believing bigger. And so when I want bigger, I've got to do the things to get bigger. And so that part of that is that saving, that financial wisdom, changing your circumstances, not doing, or the situations around you, not being around people who bring you down and are helping to elevate you and push you towards your goals. All of that is a part of believing bigger. But most importantly, I talked about this a few weeks ago. I'll share it again all day today and every day of my life. It's about having big faith. Growing your faith, not for where you are, but for where you want to go. I believe that, this business is going to expand to a whole nother level. And I don't believe it's going to take as long as I thought it would, right? So because I'm believing bigger, I'm training and developing my faith to believe that, okay, God, if you're telling me to believe bigger, and this is the vision that I'm seeing of bigger, and this is the time frame of bigger that you are showing me and not what I'm showing myself, I got to get my faith there. I got to stay in my word. I got to keep praying. I got to, understand that when you take me through things, it's not to hurt me, but it's to encourage me, it's to empower me, it's to strengthen me, it's to develop me for that next level that I'm going to. So many times we get so frustrated in things because we are only looking at where we are. We're upset because it's like that God, why me mentality. When he's saying you should look at it as, why not me? Why wouldn't you take me through this? You've shown me this vision of my life. You've shown me that there's so much greatness to come. So you got to take me through some things so I keep myself humble. So I keep myself knowing that at the end of the day, even when you grant me what is bigger, you're bigger than everything. You are bigger than everything. And I've got to keep my trust and my belief in you. Even when I have to go through suffering, even when I have to go through the tests and the trials, even when I have to go through moments where I feel just weak and alone, that doesn't mean that you're trying to hurt me. That doesn't mean that you're punishing me. That doesn't mean that you have literally left me. But what it means is that you are molding me, shaping me, making me, formulating me, changing my mind to truly believe in who you are. I believe that God is going to do some really big things in our lives before 2021 even gets here. Like I said on a previous episode, so many people are rushing to get through 2020 and get into 2021, and they want to leave 2020 behind. I'm not rushing it, because I know that there are some things that I still need to get in this year that are going to take me to those levels that God has for my life. They're going to take you to levels that you never even thought that you would reach. You're going to connect with people you never thought you would. You're going to get resources you never thought you would, because you remain faithful, you remain steadfast, and you remain connected in this moment and not looking too far ahead. That's all a part of believing bigger. Trusting God in the now to take you to where you need to be. So I want you to get your journals out, take your phone out if that's your journal, whatever it is. And I want you to do exactly what it is that God told me to do. I want you to believe bigger. I want you to write out everything that you believe that God is calling you to do, every area of ministry or work, finance, your business, whatever. Write it out, what you are believing for God to do. And I want you to pray over it intentionally for 7 days straight. That doesn't mean that God at the end of the 7 days should do all these miraculous things, right? Because God does things in his own timing. But I want you to be consistent, faithful, and intentional about praying over that for 7 straight days. And then just watch God work. Just watch him work. Don't talk negative after you prayed about it. Don't doubt in your mind after you've written it out. Don't share it with people who aren't going to support you or who are going to have those same negative thoughts and same negative mindsets. We're not doing that. We are staying in a positive, focused manner to see God bring to fruition all of the things that we believe we are designed to see as it relates to our purpose. It's time for us to believe bigger. No more small-minded thinking. No more comparing. A lot of times we compare our lives to where we see other people and what they're doing and how they're doing it. No, this is for you. This part of the journey is strictly for you. You can't look at Beyonce because you're not meant to be Beyonce. You can't look at whatever Instagram MUA you're looking at because you think you're supposed to be like them. I can't look at all of the other coaches and think that I'm supposed to be like them. Yes, I can learn from them. I can learn from the lessons. I can get inspiration and motivation. But what I should not do is compare myself, because my journey is my journey and their journey is their journey. They're called to reach whoever they're meant to reach, and you are meant to reach whoever you're meant to reach. We got to stay focused on who God is calling us to be, what he's calling us to do, and how he's calling us to do it. We believe big because we desire to see big for ourselves. Now, if that's not what you want, then maybe this isn't the episode for you, right? But I believe there's a group of people who are going to watch this, who are going to, take all of this in and really stretch themselves to pray, to seek God, to fast, to do all of the things that are going to get them to that place. Once again, we are believing bigger. We're believing bigger. No more, I'm not going to make it. You are going to make it. Your family's going to make it because of the obedience of you taking this challenge, of you really opening your mind and your heart to receive what God has for you in this time. I'm believing bigger for you. And if I can believe bigger for you, then you can believe bigger for yourself. All right, let's take a break. Normally we don't go this long without a break, but I had to get that out. So let's take a break and we'll be back to end the show. Are you or someone that you know looking to eliminate the mental, emotional, and spiritual barriers that are preventing you from pursuing your God-given purpose? If this is you, then you need to contact Blessings in Disguise today. We are a company that is dedicated to helping you eliminate those barriers, find your purpose, and be your best self. Don't delay. It is time. Now is the time to take the step to get the healing that you need. We provide individual, couples, and family counseling in the office setting as well as via telehealth. We have so many options for you to get the help that you need. In Email info@blessingsinDisguise.com today to get an appointment set up. There's no greater time than now to make the steps to be your best self. Contact us today. All right, so as we are bringing the show to a close, this has definitely been a little bit different of an episode. Usually I don't jump right in right away, but when you just allow God to do what he takes over and things happen. But I want to kind of share a few points. I know as we talk about believing bigger, right, we have to talk about motivation. And I know that for many of us, when we talk about believing bigger, it's like, you know what, I'm trying to believe bigger, but I don't necessarily have the motivation to do that, or I'm trying to find my motivation so I can keep believing and changing my mindset and doing all of those things. And so I shared on Instagram a few days ago. For those of you who aren't following me on Instagram, it is at j.lynn, Lynn.a. But I shared some tips on how to find your motivation if you feel like you've lost it. So I kind of want to run through those real quick because, like I said, I don't want to leave you with like, all right, you need to believe bigger, but what maybe if I can't find myself in that place right now, or I feel like maybe my motivation is good, but I want to make sure that I'm in the right place. Well, I got a few tips for you, right? So if you feel like you've lost your motivation, you just want to increase your motivation, whatever the case may be, and these are in no particular order. The first thing I want you to do is make sure that you're surrounding yourself with the right people who will help boost your motivation. I think many times we don't realize that having the wrong people around us can drain us. It can take our energy away because maybe we're focusing on them, or we're focusing on the problems and the issues that they have in their lives, and we're carrying their burdens and their issues and their worries, and not really able to focus on what it is that we're supposed to be doing. We're drained, we're tired because we don't have whatever it is that we need to move forward and do that. So make sure you are surrounded by people, like-minded people who are either going where you're going and have the same mindset of positivity and prospering and, putting in the work, because that is a big thing. Like, we've got to put in the work to get get and maintain the bigger that we are seeking God for, right? And so you can't have people who are lazy and procrastinating and not motivated around you and expect that you're going to be that one. And sometimes you can be, right, if you have the right mindset, but too much of that can really get you down. So make sure you have the right people around you, even those who are further ahead. I will always preach, making sure that we have mentors and leaders who are sometimes light years ahead of us, can help us grow, because now we want to, we're really learning and looking to understand how they got to where they are so we can get there as well. Once again, not trying to rush the process or completely emulate the process, but what are the skills, the tools, the resources that they develop? What mindsets do they have so that I can, begin to develop those same mindsets within myself to reach the goals or the desires that I have for my life. So making sure that you have the right people around you. Once again, we talked about this in the beginning segment, but making sure you fix your faith, right? Like having your faith in the right place, continually growing and developing that, staying in your word. I tell clients all the time, so many times we get lost in trying to understand scripture. Focus on a word. If you're looking to grow your faith, faith is that word. Google search faith, scriptures on faith, right? And then find one that speaks to you, or find one and use a resource like a Bible commentary or BibleHub.com or something like that to help you get an understanding of what that scripture means and how it relates to faith, and how you can meditate and focus on that prayer to help you build up, on that scripture to help you build up your faith. So making sure that we fix our faith and believing in the one who we say we have our faith in, because that's very key. Number 3, a lot of times when we are believing bigger and want to see these things and changes in our lives, we start working super, super hard to get it. And we live in a time and in a culture where it's like, I don't need to sleep. I'll sleep when I'm dead. I'm sorry, I'm not that person. Like, At midnight, my husband makes sure that my computer is turned off, the iPad is off, like the phone goes down most of, unless I'm, scrolling to go to sleep or whatever, but I try not to even do that because it keeps me up. But, not working so much that we aren't able to enjoy life. Once, I talk about it all the time. Self-care is very important. And when you are striving for bigger, you have to get your rest. You have to reset and refresh your mind so that you can take in these new ideas, that you can, formulate the plans, that you can run the business and do all the things. If you're not in the right mindset, then you won't do that. So make sure that you are not overworking yourself. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, eating the right things, making sure you're increasing your water intake, all of that good stuff. Do not overwork yourself. It's not worth it. You need to take care of you. Enjoy your families. Enjoy, things that you like to do, and use that to help you work towards the vision. And the last thing, we often don't celebrate our successes, right? Our minds are geared towards focusing on the negative or what we did wrong or what we didn't do good enough, right? But we have to turn that and celebrate even the smallest of small successes, right? Because when you can focus on the positive, that only brings more positive to you. And the small successes become bigger successes, and the bigger successes become the biggest successes that we have in this moment until we reach new levels and new things. So make sure that you are celebrating those things and having the right people around you that, once again, tying back to the first thing, that will help you see those things. Because sometimes we don't see it, sometimes we're so focused on getting to the next thing that we don't stop and celebrate in the moment. And so having people that say, no, like, you're not going to work today, we're going to go to dinner, or, we're going to have a girls' night in, or, we're going to FaceTime, Zoom, chat, whatever, and just really say, girl, you did that. Like, you got this. That's my saying right now. You got this. Like, use that to celebrate yourself, right? So those are a few little tips to give you guys on how to make sure you're staying motivated as you are working to believe bigger. So we have now come to the end of Purpose Talk. I hope that you guys have truly enjoyed the show. I pray that you have taken something away from this that will help you elevate and change and shift the tide of your life. So as I always say at the end of every show, meet me here next Saturday, 6 p.m., same time, same place, for another amazing episode of Purpose Talk. I love you. Take care, and I'll see you soon.